Oh, it's
Zach,
take
what are we
7.
doing?
It's take 7. I swore in the first 1 minute.
Ah!
Why do we have outtakes if not to stop ourselves from swearing before the
Oh God,
5?
Zach, the first video that we did today was stupid. The
Well,
second video
so
we did today was really nasty.
we were supposed to start at 7, and then 6:30 rolls along. You're deep in writing and it's going really well. I am working on music and doing a little bit of writing that accommodates that music project, and that was going very well. So we agreed to push off to 8. And then I'm a little bit late, which is on me, and you had to finish up a chess game, which is fine because I enjoyed watching it. And then I said, let's do an interesting nerd network video first. And it really set the tone for the rest of the day. And it's a little the content's a little spicier than what we usually do. I don't think it's anything gross or inappropriate, but the conversations we got into when we started to record our actual video were gross and inappropriate, but just fine enough that they can be on our Patreon. Not something we want to put is a 45-minute segue sidebar conversation in a regular video, but the full unabridged version is already up on Patreon. If you're watching this,
So
you're
if you are also gross and inappropriate,
if you want to know why Mr. Ed got a restraining order on us, eh, if you,
yeah, yeah, and if you want to hear our takes on some mm,
question,
entertainment,
if you want to know that I've done some more psychological research than one would think for somebody who has no degree in psychology, uh, there's a wonderful conversation. Honestly, Tom, we can resume that conversation to record this video where we don't go off the rails and make
yeah,
it
because
another
this is gonna
outtake.
be totally normal, totally not unhinged,
We are not going to.
absolutely fine 40
James
minute
Bond will not
video.
make an appearance. The new James Bond and what he may or may not be into will not make an appearance in this video.
This is
In
gonna
this
be a
nice 40
25
minute
minute
video.
video. This is a 25-minute video, Zach.
25-minute video, and then we can go back to our previous conversation if we want to, although maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should save that
God.
for after we both got some rest
Oh
and
my
we have
God.
memes about James Bond safely outside of our head because we've done other things.
I'm so tired. There might be a PO box in the description. There might not.
Like,
I'm fucking. No!
no, we're good. We're good. It's 2.5 minutes in. YouTube stopped checking.
No!
You care that
YouTube,
much,
I'm
Tom?
sorry.
We made it this. We made it so far. Are we schmucking this one?
No,
Are
let's
you,
go. Let's go. We're going.
okay,
This
okay.
is the
Thank
one.
the
It
baby.
doesn't. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Thank the baby Jesus and certain farm animals that happened to be with him at that time. Uh,
But not certain other farm animals.
you know which ones. You know what you did.
No, no. You know what
Uh,
you keep asking James Bond to do. I know you Bond burger James Bond's sister. Oh no. Oh no, Zach. I can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
Oh, there you are. Oh my God. Oh no, I thought I lost you.
I
Zach,
was.
please,
I
please, get
couldn't
us into
breathe.
the video. Please,
Tom, I couldn't breathe. Also,
please.
actually, we established that Bond Burger doesn't mean anything. Oh, did we ever put that video in the description? There's a video in the description about the James Bond hamburger meme that I made on my video essay channel. If you
There
haven't seen it
sure
yet, you
is.
should watch it.
It's funny.
Okay, this is a theory from should I say this person's full name? They didn't
Let's
say how
just
to.
go first name.
Let's go. This is a theory from Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob.
Uh,
Jacob has submitted theories before.
yes. Uh, and we appreciate you sending this one in. This is a nice little concise theory here
And this is a
that
theory.
I
Theory from when?
this theory was sent to us in November, Tuesday, November 7th, a day on which I'm sure I was quite busy.
We're catching up.
Thank you for sending this one in. We really do appreciate it, and we are trying to get through all of the theories that we possibly can from our email. So if you want to prompt us, say, "Hey, don't forget this theory I sent you," in the next, I don't know, couple months, We're going to make a real concentrated effort to get through as many of them as we possibly can. No promises, but we're going to try. Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. You hear that,
And
YouTube?
for another 40 minutes, it's gosh darn it.
It's gosh darn it, where this is a totally, like, we I can say, Zach, I'm back on dating apps after a long time. This video is going to be 100% hinged.
I 100% hinged. I quit Hinge. I'm back on dating discords, but I still don't like them. Uh
Zach, no, that was not an invitation for a tangent.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are we not doing tangents anymore?
No, we're not doing tangents anymore. This is a
did we
completely on the rails video.
did we learn a lesson? Maybe.
No, we're just tired.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
It's 12:20 o'clock in the morning and I got up at 5 a.m. I want to go to bed.
Okay. It's time for me to actually read this theory all the way through and make sure. Okay.
What do you mean? No, now it's not the time to do that.
Well, the best time to do it was 10 minutes before we started. The second best time is now.
I don't know how that works. I think that there's a gradient of best, and now is the worst time on that
Ooh,
gradient.
this is kind of a why.
Oh, okay.
This is a theory. So there's a thesis statement. There is a answer here, but also there's a why baked into here, and I want to talk about both.
All right.
So
By the way, if you want to be cool like Jacob and submit theories, you can do it at the email address in the description.
we will keep accepting them until there are no more theories left, until the last book comes out, and George Martin personally comes on an episode and says all the things that are true and false. Then
All
we
the
might.
things he said, all the things he said.
He said all the things he said. Then we'll make theories about James Bond. Uh,
But only then.
only then. You hear that, Mr. Ed? Okay, anyways, uh
You hear that, Mr. Ed Harris?
yes, Ed Harris. It's the guy from Iron Maiden. Uh
You hear that, Mr. Edge Van Halen?
he isn't here much anymore.
Oh, God. What, is he dead?
Yeah,
Oh, sucks.
yeah.
My bad, I didn't mean to. Just get us in, please. Get us in.
Okay.
I'm dying.
I'm gonna uh I'm gonna start not with the first hint that was given here because it was not stated explicitly. I need to start with that one. I'm
Okay.
gonna start with this one.
Okay.
Satin was born and raised in a brothel in Old Town.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh, thank God, Zach. Thank God we get to talk about Game of Thrones. Thank God. Like
It's been a scary eight
it
minutes.
has been terrifying. I've been trying so hard. I've resisted like 3 tangents myself. I thought about going down that Mr. Ed rabbit hole for like 10 minutes. Comment below more Mr. Ed puns, please.
You take the you take the blue pill, you stay here. You talk about A Song of Ice and Fire with your good friend Zach. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the Mr. Ed rabbit hole goes.
I show you how deep the Mr. Ed hole goes. Don't take it. Don't take the bait, Zach. Don't take the bait. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put it out. Don't take it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Push through.
Satin.
Push
Satin
through,
was
Zach. Get us
born.
out of here.
Satin was born and raised in a brothel in
He
Old
sure
Town.
was. He sure was born and raised in Old Town. He's at the wall now. Fun fact.
Yes, he's at the wall now.
A lot of
Correct.
people think that he and John are a thing.
And
Um,
we'd like that to be true.
I think that that is a cool idea, but I don't think that it holds much water. However, that's never stopped us before. Um, I think that if that's your headcanon, neat. And if that turns out to be true, freaking sick. Let's go. Uh, Satin aided with the defense of the wall in a couple of extremely cool scenes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not on the list here, but
Satin is now Jon Stewart. Um, let's see. Satin's really pretty. Um, okay, maybe I'm not talking about the right stuff. Old Town.
Old
Um,
Town.
Old Town is a town and it's old. I just read The World of Ice and Fire again. Um, which I reread the Dunk and Egg books recently, and then I reread The World of Ice and Fire, and I'm back on The World of Ice and Fire as my favorite book in the series train. Uh,
That's a. I was actually talking to people about Lord of the Rings recently, and two people had said the Silmarillion is their favorite of the books,
yeah,
which is respectable, but not my take. But I totally get why that would be somebody's favorite book, and I feel very similarly about World of Ice and Fire.
I have
I
never read the Silmarillion. Fun fact.
Interesting. I've only read a little bit, not the whole thing.
I think I've
Uh,
actually read the whole of the Lord of the Rings series exactly one time. I
and
think.
then The Hobbit more than once. I know that.
Oh, I love The Hobbit.
Hobbit's a comfort book for you, which is a
Yeah,
very good comfort book.
yeah. Hobbit, extremely good. Uh, 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 Not what we're talking about today.
Not at all. Not
So
the
I reread The World of Ice and Fire, and there's a
yeah.
lot of cool stuff about Old Town in
Tell me
there.
some cool things about Old Town, because that might actually get you the other end of this theory.
The high tower of Old Town sits on an island called Battle Isle, and it is called Battle Isle in the oldest annals of history. Um,
Implying that there was a really ancient battle there.
yes, and like we could do a full Y episode just on that sentence because that implies extremely heavily that it is going to be somehow relevant. Um, why would you set up like there's like mysteries teased all through the world book, and I think a lot of them are not gonna get like delved into, but
Yeah,
that one is so explicitly stated as a mystery. Right. It's not like the bones in the graves at Barrowton, right? Where
yeah.
we could never see those graves opened and no one would ever like comment on it. Like if we don't get a resolution to what Old Town and Battle Isle are, the origins of Old Town, like I would be surprised because I think that it's that well set up. Um
Yeah, and
uh
more importantly, we have characters walking about there quite a bit.
yes.
There's intrigue going on there right now,
Yeah,
so we
they're
have an opportunity to have that explained directly to a character and then therefore to the audience.
yeah, I think a significant portion of the Winds of Winter is going to take place from Sam Tarley's perspective at Old Town, as he is introducing the reader for basically the first time outside of the prequels, to House Hightower and the Starry Sept, and all this wonderful shit.
Yeah.
And I think that we're gonna get some Indiana Jones stuff in Old
Ooh.
Town.
Uh, Elaborate. Tell me more, because that might be a good
Oh,
avenue to poke.
oh my God! Like, can you like the Starry Sept, like the church in Indiana Jones 3?
Yeah.
It would surprise me not at all if in the basement of the Sept at Old Town is like ancient Dragon Lord texts or something, right?
Uh, and who might be interested in those?
Oh my God! Oh, dude, what if in the? I'm sorry, I'm musing right now.
No, go for it. Go for it.
What if in the basement of the Starry Sept at Old Town we see in kind of an Indiana Jones reference, we see ancient texts of the Faith of the Seven, um describing an antagonistic figure in the Faith of the Seven that was like wiped from history.
Ooh.
Right?
That's
Wait,
neat.
actually, now that I'm thinking on it, it's a little weird that in the Faith of the Seven there is not an antagonistic figure.
Yeah, there's no devil. There's a stranger, but the stranger is like a good thing.
Yeah,
The
the
stranger is
stranger is a
supposed to.
neutral force at worst.
Yeah.
The stranger is death, and nobody likes death, but death doesn't death isn't evil. Death just is,
Yes.
depending on certainly in the philosophy of the faith. Um,
Yeah.
um, so maybe we'll get something like that. That'd be extremely cool.
Yeah. That'd be
Right,
cool.
and then that thing, like, we as nerds, not necessarily the people in the story, but we as nerds might uh 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 we would draw some comparisons to the wiping from history that happened to um the Night King, um and the wiping from history, and like the other dark gods, like the storm god, and like the the god, what's the name of the god that doesn't like the Lord of Light?
Um, the Great Other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I man, some lineups like that would be really cool. This
yeah.
isn't even mostly speculation. This is 100% speculation. But still, I think it's neat to think about. Was I close to anything anywhere?
You brushed up against it. Like there might be like cool, magical, or important things or important texts hidden deep within Old Town. I
Ah,
was trying to get you towards who would have interest in these.
sure. I don't know about who, but I think I could have a take a shot at where.
Yeah.
The death of dragons in the basement of the Citadel.
Yeah. The you're so tantalizingly close to a ding. It's yeah, half the ding is that there are information or books in the Citadel libraries that are rare and of importance. The other half is who is looking for them.
We know the Faceless Men are looking for them.
Ding! There we
Yeah.
go. It has been theorized that the Faceless Men are looking for information or a book in the Citadel libraries.
For information or a book. The Citadel Library. Very cool. Sidebar. It's
Yes.
weird that um that they keep a book called The Death of Dragons under lock and key,
Yeah, it
considering
is.
considering that the dragons are dead.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Zach, can you do a Yoda?
Interesting. Dead, dead dragons are.
Zach, I have wonderful news. That sounded like a Protoss.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah, that sounded like Zeratul from StarCraft 2.
Only passingly familiar with StarCraft lore, am I?
Oh,
Zergraft,
dude.
understand.
What?
Terrans, yes. Protoss, kind of. Construct additional pylons, you must.
Yeah, 100%. Zach, would you do a StarCraft stream with me?
Absolutely, I would
I
love
think you'd
to.
I think you'd really enjoy it, and I think we could get through the whole campaign of StarCraft 2 Part 1 in one day.
I've watched some like I whenever I want to like see what an esport is like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go find people say what are some of the most pivotal like matches in history of this esport, and I watched some of the most pivotal matches of StarCraft. And I'm like, wow, he sure built a lot of Zerg.
Yes. The cool thing about the campaign is it's really good and it doesn't make you want to eat anybody.
Good, good.
Well, except for Tychus Finley and a few other characters. Right.
All right.
Sometimes you want to eat Jim Raynor.
We said we wouldn't get distracted. So unfortunately, as much as I love the StarCraft conversation, we have two hints on the board,
I'm
Tom.
sorry. What are we doing here?
Uh, we're talking about Satin in Oldtown, and apparently Faceless Men.
That's right, in the square hole. Satin in Oldtown.
So,
Where does this character go? That's right, to Old Town.
Town. Where? How did Satin get to the Night's Watch? Do you remember?
By boat, I bet.
Uh, well, like what? Uh,
Oh, you mean like what did they do?
yeah. How? What was? Yeah. What was Satin's reason for joining the Watch?
Um, was Satin arrested
Yes,
for
that's correct.
okay.
We don't know what for,
Okay.
or at the
So
very least, the person did not send me what for. Uh,
Satin was arrested
Satin was in a Lord's dungeon. Do you know where?
in a lord's dungeon.
Yes.
Presumably not in Old Town itself.
No.
Wait, no, this is interesting now. Satin was in a lord's dungeon in probably not Hornhill. I'm gonna go with Highgarden.
No.
All right, whereabouts?
Gulltown.
So how did Satin?
Observant viewers might notice that that's very much in the Vale.
Satin, how'd you get to the Vale?
I'm going to give you the exact quote here. The new Night's Watch recruits, well, that's in brackets, smell of summer, John said as Sir Endro bull rushed his foe and knocked him sprawling. Here's the part you actually need to quote. Where did Conway find them? A lord's dungeon near Gulltown, the smith replied. A brigand, a barber, a beggar, two orphans, and a boy whore. With such do we defend the realms of men.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Tell me them all again. Uh,
A
uh,
brigand, a brigand, a barber, a beggar, two orphans, and a boy whore.
beggar, two orphans. YouTube is gonna get mad at me, so I'm gonna say and Satin.
And they censored it in the email, so that it didn't have the vowel, but well, one of the
Yeah,
vowels.
I gotta feel like
YouTube's gotta be smarter
Google
than
is
that.
smarter than that, right?
Yeah,
That's something I've never understood. I gotta feel like Google can pick that up.
yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting it is.
Very interesting. So here's
Hmm.
the theory has an answer for this, but there's a wonderful why here also. Why the hell? Uh,
Like why the hell?
yeah, like how very much so did this come to pass? In what way did he get from Old Town to Gold Town and then get arrested and then shipped to the wall? That is peculiar.
When did that happen?
When did this happen? So this quote is from uh John 1, A Clash of Kings.
Oh, it's early, huh?
Yes.
Interesting. Why Satin? A person from Old Town, what, 16, 17, 18, something like that?
Well, let's see. Let's get the age of Satin here. Satin, yeah, born between somewhere 280 to 282. So oldest is like 1920 and youngest is 1817 ish. late teenager, early adult.
How? Um, maybe, you know what? I actually think I have a totally fine solution. I think that,
All right.
maybe they're draft dodgers,
Ooh, that's an actually kind of plausible answer. Oh,
right?
you want to
They go to
dodge
the
the draft
Vale.
here?
Say again?
Oh, you want to dodge the draft here? Well, you can't dodge the draft to the Night's Watch. Good luck. Yeah, I
And and I
I
can
kind of buy
understand
that
that.
one.
I can understand that being they um why they went to the Vale, because
Yeah,
the Vale had a policy of neutrality. I don't know how they would know that.
and whether that be enforced either, because it's like if you're neutral to that war, well, like, what does it matter to you that you're draft dodging? Like Eddard Stark would enforce that rule, right? Hey, you have a duty to go serve in the draft that your lord's war. Even if I'm not a participant in it, you either need to go back or I'm going to send you to the wall. It would be what he would say. But most lords aren't Ned Stark. Is like point of the first book.
Yeah. So maybe, like genuinely, maybe they never even spoke to the Lords of Gulltown, who I don't know, by the way. Who are the Lords of Gulltown?
Oh, good question.
Um, maybe they never even spoke to anybody in Gulltown. They just like met. They just got captured by a guard, got thrown into the captain of the guards, and the captain of the guards poked them 3 times until somebody told them, like, oh, we just didn't want to fight, my lord. We just didn't want
House
to fight.
House Grafton. Uh,
Raftons of Gulltown. Right.
Grafton's a Town.
So like the fifth son of House Grafton, who is the captain of guard, like pokes, I don't know, Molly, and is like, hey, what you doing here? And, we came from the west, my lord. We didn't want to fight. And the captain is like, well, I could send you back, but that would look like we're sending troops
Yep.
the to the Reach.
Yep.
So to the wall. Get out of here.
Yep. Yeah. No longer my problem.
Yep.
I don't want to have to deal with you.
Huh.
That's not where this is going. But it is an interesting concept, and it's such a yeah, like how like the brigand. Okay, they're a brigand, right? We know why they got arrested. Their crime was their job title. The beggar, like beggars get into crime all the time. Desperate people do desperate things. The barber, a lot of question marks there. The two orphans, a lot of question marks there. And then, yeah, as this theory states, uh, prostitution doesn't seem to be against the law in Westeros. In fact, it seems to be largely encouraged, and we know it's not against the law because Stannis tries to ban brothels, and he's basically told that'll never fly.
Yeah. Huh.
So, what crime did Satin commit, and why did he commit it in Gulltown? That's our why.
So
But Jacob has an answer for us.
I just had an idea. Though, if you want to keep driving down,
I want to give the first card
yeah,
here
yeah,
because
go
it,
ahead.
it, it puts you in the right direction. Satin is a material made from silk. In our world, it was historically produced in the Far East, specifically China. That is a card that we have been dealt.
It was made in the Far East, specifically China. Um, um, Satin is made from silk. Silk is made from worms. Is there
Yeah,
something to bite into there? Or do I
I
need to
don't
talk about
think
the Silk Road?
so. Uh, Talking about, well, the idea I think is largely coming from a distant place, and maybe uh, that implies some things about Saturn.
Is Satin Yetish?
Uh, that's not what's implied here, although that would be where my mind would go if I did not have all the hints in front of me.
Right, like that's a cool comparison, right?
Yeah.
Like
Meaningful names in A Song of Ice and Fire are not without precedent.
hmm. And Old Town, we know that Old Town is a very active port city.
That's where the Cinnamon Wind finds out that King Robert has died is when he stops in the port of Old Town.
Yeah,
And then he immediately goes and tells Daenerys.
right? And like
So
I could totally see Satin as like a 4-year-old getting just dumped in the streets of Old Town after hitching a ride
it,
from I don't know, Yee to Karth and then Karth to Old Town.
and he gets uh ends up living in a brothel and doesn't know that he wasn't born there. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause he was very young.
that
Or
could be an interesting reveal,
or,
actually.
or his father was just some sailor from God knows where, right? Certainly with Satin's uh like eye and hair color, he could be from any number of places. They're pretty common colors of hair and eye. It's not like he's not described as like the classic Lannister blonde and green. Would make us think he's from the Westerlands.
Right?
He
He
has
doesn't have like
dark
eyes so blue they looked almost purple, right?
no, he has dark eyes, dark hair. Man could be from anywhere.
He could be like dyeing his hair.
That's also true.
Is there any? Well, I was gonna say, is there anything like like really notable about Satin's appearance? But then I remembered, of course there is. He's gorgeous,
Yeah,
right?
he's
That's
hot
the
as
thing
fuck.
we know about Satin.
We know Satin is considered attractive by at least John, and a brief description of him. Yes.
Interesting.
Now we're driving at some interesting things. We're also not driving at the core here of the theory,
Okay,
which
I had a thought.
I think you have everything you need to work your way there.
Okay. Um, this down here,
Uh,
I'm not sure if this is gonna get me anywhere, but this down here really made me think of the description of Rorgen Biter and Jack and Hagar.
what a incredibly smart, ingenious, great way to go. In fact, the exact way to go.
Let's
Uh,
go.
uh, yeah, I'm gonna give you this here. Jack and Hagar was on his way to the Wall when his path north was interrupted by the War of the Five Kings. He then took on the persona of the alchemist and headed for Old Town.
Did I spell Jack and Hagar right?
Uh, Jaquen apostrophe Ghar.
Of course, it's Jaquen.
Yes.
He then took on the role of the alchemist, headed for Old Town. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I like this. So we had a nondescript group of criminals traveling to the wall be interrupted. A
Yes.
different nondescript group of criminals around the same time left Old Town and headed for the wall. Then the
Well,
first
left Gold Town specifically.
well, we
And
know that Satin left Old Town at some point.
we don't know about the rest. The rest could have come from anywhere or could have been locals to Gold Town. We know at the very least one person who is apparently a criminal of some sort, or at the very least ended up in a dungeon, ends up at the wall around the same time. Yes.
Meanwhile, that first group of criminals takes a sort of roundabout path to Old Town.
Yes. Which was not their original destination.
So Jack and Hagar was on the way to Old Town. was on the way to the wall and was interrupted. Some other individual or entity learned that he had been interrupted and needed them to get to the wall very quickly, and so dispatched Satin to go to the wall? Question mark?
Yeah, more or less.
What the
Uh,
hell are we talking about? Who
so
and why?
there's some more quotes in here. There's some more evidence in here. There's some more things. One of the things I love is that Jacob sent us a piece of evidence that starts with "in the Bad Dragon Show,"
Nice.
which I'm glad that people have adopted our nomenclature. It brings me joy. Uh,
All right.
uh, do
In
you,
the
do you
Bad
want to
Dragon
get?
Show.
Do you want to guess what happens in the Bad Dragon show that's relevant here?
In the Bad Dragon Show, Sam has a montage in the
No,
Citadel.
we're not talking about the Sam Tarley training montage.
Oh, damn it. I like that one. Can you give me a hint? Give me a little closer.
It's something Roose Bolton does.
Oh goodness. Roose Bolton doesn't do all that much in the show. Roose Bolton,
Stares and watches Ramsey do things with
yeah,
mild
Roose
concern.
Bolton does legitimize Ramsey. He dies. He's stabbed to death. That what we're driving at? That the faceless men are gonna stab Ramsey to death, Roose to death?
No, it's more. Roose does something involving the Night's Watch. I forgot about this, so
He
it's
does. Does he send an assassin to kill John?
yes, ding. Uh, in the Bad Dragon Show, Roose Bolton sends one of his men to the Watch to kill off the rest of the Stark claimants to the north that might have survived. It is within reason that at least another noble over the long millennia history of the Night's Watch has similarly sent their men to the wall to enact some plan.
Um,
The
uh,
idea,
in
and,
fact, we know that this is the case.
yes,
Cersei talks about doing this,
yes,
right? Cersei talks about sending some representatives of her own to the wall to support Janos Slynt and to kill Jon Snow.
yeah, exactly.
Huh. All right. So so what? You're telling me that Satin orchestrated the death of Jon Snow?
Uh, Satin
That
might be there for
sucks.
Satin might be there for John killing reasons, or for unrelated, unknown reasons. But uh, what was I going to say?
Oh God, it's so we're both losing it. We're losing the thread. Let's get through it. Come on.
Losing the thread. Losing the thread. You mentioned an entity making a decision here. That is the heart of this theory. The heart of this theory is that a decision was made for someone to pick up somebody else's responsibility. Essentially, let's see if that I set you up for the home run there.
Is it the Citadel?
No,
Is it the Iron Bank on their way
no,
up?
but
Like
you're in the very correct direction.
is Satin? Oh God, was Satin hired by the Iron Bank to kill Stannis if he defaults on his loans?
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then they had to send Tycho Nestoris after it didn't work. Let's see who
Taco
else.
Nestorius, who, as we established in a live stream at Taco, has the most drip of anybody in the world of Ice and Fire that we've ever seen.
Except for the Muppet Tullies.
Yes, they have a lot of drip.
Oh God, you said I was in the right direction. What's up there? Is it
What's in Bravos?
like the Hairy Men of Ib?
No.
Wait,
What's
what's
in
in
Bravos and is
Bravos?
super relevant to Jack and Hagar?
The Faceless Men. I said that.
The House of Black and White specifically, yes.
Oh, okay.
They let's talk about what does Jack and Hagar do in Old Town?
He kills a kid and steals a key.
Yes, Sting. He took the face of Pate the Pig Boy after killing him. Where is Goldtown geographically?
Paid the pig boy. Sure. Killing. I guess he's not Pate the pig boy. He's Pate the acolyte, and Pate the pig boy is a different
Yes,
guy. But
he says Pate the Pig Boy like the pig boy afterwards.
yeah, but he says Pate like the
Yes,
pig boy,
yes,
which is
that's
different
true.
from Pate the pig boy.
That's true. That's fair.
Um, in the Vale.
Yes, Goldtown is across the narrow sea from
For Bravos?
Ding.
Oh,
Goldtown is
that's
across the narrow sea
cool.
from Bravos. I think that's all the hints. I'm pretty sure I'm looking.
Yo, that rocks.
The theory is they swapped missions. One person couldn't make it to their intended destination,
So
and
they dispatched a person from
well, it would
yeah.
make sense if somebody who is they had the face of somebody who is born and lived in Old Town, right? You can go in and fill their role. So you have the face of some boy from a brothel in Old Town for your Old Town mission, and he's heading there when there's an interruption. The person who is heading from King's Landing or the Riverlands or wherever Jacken's original point was is heading up to the wall. He can't make it because there's a war going on in the Riverlands. So after some communication with the House of Black and White, they say, okay, you can go south safely. So why don't you go south to Old Town where we have some work, and we'll send this other guy who's going to go to Old Town to the wall to carry out your original mission.
Uh, you know something? This was Jacobs.
Yeah,
You know something? I kind of love this.
yeah. I Satin being a faceless man, I don't know if that's entirely original, but this is the most plausible form of that argument I think you could ever make. That this has me believing that premise, or at the very least, entertaining that premise.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy it, but like, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, Gulltown. If I wanted to get to the wall and I was a faceless man, I would get arrested in Gulltown. I would commit some sort of petty crime, or maybe not even petty crime, serious enough crime that I would have some sort of punishment, and ask to be sent to the wall in Gulltown. And then I would get there pretty quick, and I could carry out whatever my mission is at the wall. And
Yeah.
Gulltown's probably got to be a good jumping off point for faceless men into Westeros, anyways, right? Like it's the nearest available port. If
Oh my
you
god. Oh my god, I know what it was.
what?
Jack and Hagar got distracted by Arya.
Well, I think timeline wise, uh, that Satin is there before. Well, when is Arya free jacking? Is it the end of uh Game of Thrones or is it the beginning of Clash? I should know. I'm just finishing up my Clash re-listen.
It,
It's been
it
going on for a year now.
it is at the beginning of Clash. With Arya's storyline, they actually do this like completely bullshit cliffhanger
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones,
Yes.
where what's the name of the Night's Watchman who
Yoren.
Yoren like holds a knife to her throat,
Yeah.
and we think she's gonna die, and it cuts there, and it turns out he just fucking cut her hair off screen.
Yeah. Classic.
It's
Very,
super
very.
cheap. It's like Jon Snow just waking up with a stomach ache in the next book.
God, man, they almost got through my Kevlar.
John never felt the fourth knife, only the cold, because he had fallen asleep.
They managed to break his coat. Uh,
Unbelieve, unbelieve, do not believe. George, if you do that, I will be a little mad. But I'll also have another book, so not that mad. You know what, George? Do that. If
yeah,
that
you
makes
know
it
what?
easier for you, go ahead.
If that gets the book out, by all means.
Zach, I like this. I like
Yeah,
this a lot.
I I kind of really like this one.
Yeah. I liked the last one too, but I mean, it was kind of a fever dream.
Yes, it was George R. R. Martin's fever dream.
No, no, Zach, that the last one was our fever dream.
Yes, it was. It was our
No,
fever
I
dream.
can't blame George for that one.
Yeah, shockingly little George R. R. Martin in it.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yeah, in a 90-minute video, there's about 40 George Martin.
it's charitable. Uh,
Zach, I like this a lot, and I again, I'm not sure that I buy it because it makes. Well, I was gonna say it makes Satin's character weird, but Satin. This is one of my
he's weird.
problems with John and Satin are gonna be a thing. Is that Satin doesn't really have a character. He's
Yeah,
not like he's not. He's a very blank slate character still. He's never done much that he's never done much. He's only had things done to him, you know.
yeah.
He has taken orders from John and been kicked around by other people at the Watch. Um, huh.
Siren outside my windows. Uh,
And Satin is the Lord Commander's steward.
yes, he gets into a position of power. Pretty.
Oh my God, pitch,
Okay, okay.
pitch. Um, Satin is a faceless man. This faceless man has been sneaking around Castle Black for months. And uh, uh, Bone Marsh is dead.
Oh,
Bone Marsh is dead, and that was actually Satin.
because we don't know where Satin is during that scene,
Yeah.
and he will mysteriously disappear at the beginning of Winds, and we'll never know what happened to him. And Bowen Marsh will also conveniently disappear not long afterwards, making John worried that Satin betrayed him or was part of the conspiracy. But in actuality, it was also somebody who was intended to get the blame can get the blame for Jon Snow's assassination. They're like
What?
starting some political turmoil,
Yo,
right?
wait a minute.
Because that's one of the things about being a faceless man is not only can you kill somebody, you can kill somebody while making yourself look a certain way to imply a certain thing.
Yo, wait a minute. Was a faceless man hired to kill John?
Maybe.
Did
I
a
don't think that
faceless man
needs to.
write the pink letter?
I don't think it needs to be the case.
It
But
doesn't, but
God, is it
like
fun?
this is another take that I would be not just okay with. I would think that was really cool.
Yeah.
Who would hire a faceless man to kill John? Ramsay?
Ramsey's a little too unhinged and really do it myself sort of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
If somebody was going to do that, it would be like a Euron sort of person, right? Like as far as people we know who canonically hired faceless men, it's Euron, heavily implied, and
Full stop.
yep,
That's the end of the list.
yep.
I mean, is it too obvious to say Cersei? She doesn't have the cash.
She doesn't have the cash. She's
And
also
she,
not competent enough to do that.
yeah, she's much
That'd be
more
a
of a
good decision, and she's
right,
very bad at making those.
right. Like when she needed someone dead, she sent Lord Merryweather.
Yeah, yep. She sends Janos Slint, and then he gets arrested and sent to the wall, and then immediately people don't want to do her dirty work anymore because she has no way to protect them, which is the whole thing you need to get somebody to do your dirty work is zero blowback, baby. Can't have any of that shit falling back on me, Cersei. I'm sorry, I ain't stabbing people. I know what happened to the last person you hired.
However, Arya's revenge arc might become more interesting if she learns that Cersei killed Jon.
What if now we're just full on interesting speculation here?
Yeah.
What if uh her first official like mission outside of her like training is on the orders of somebody she despises, right? You want to be a
Ooh.
faceless man? Okay. Our first
Ooh.
contract comes from Cersei Lannister.
I mean, oh, you know what? And the House of Black and White loves to do this like fucked up test thing,
Yeah.
right? So they give her someone like they don't give her a family member, but they give her someone that she wouldn't want to kill, right? Like Lady Crane.
Yeah.
Dude, I like this theory and all this silly speculation we're doing right now. This is one of the reasons I like this series. The other reason is what happened last video.
Do you want to say goodbye to our audience and then go on another unhinged rant for our
Uh,
patrons?
uh,
We never
uh,
finished
I
these conversations.
I sure do. Zach, thank you so much for being here. I hope that everybody likes this video.
Thank you so much for
Subscribe if you
watching.
haven't. I hope you have a great day.
And we can actually just set this one to upload like ASAP, no
Yep,
problem.
I'm literally gonna upload it right now. Zach, say
Hell
goodbye.
yeah. Goodbye.